I've spent years and honestly a lot of money trying different supplements to support my health after menopause. But there are two that I regret taking, and there is one very popular supplement that I won't take no matter how popular it gets, unless my doctor tells me that I have to. Because even when a supplement didn't work or didn't give me the results that I'd hoped for, I was surprised to learn that it was still doing other things in my body instead. So let's discuss. That supplement is going to be supplement number 1, biotin. When my hair started falling out after menopause, I took high-dose biotin in a supplement that included other herbs and minerals, and I took that supplement for a year. And during that year, my hair continued to fall out. If you have a deficiency in biotin, supplementing under a doctor's care would probably help you. But most of us in America, we eat foods that are high in biotin, like meat, eggs, seeds, and nuts. And if you eat these foods, you're probably not going to be deficient. Also, because biotin is a water-soluble vitamin, any excess that your body doesn't need just comes out in your urine. But here's the thing that surprised me. I'm going in for labs in a couple of weeks, and I was instructed to stop any biotin supplementation for at least 4 days before I go in. The reason? Because frequently it can cause inaccurate test results, particularly where the heart and the thyroid are concerned. You can get false negatives. So no supplemental biotin for me. If you're reasonably healthy, then supplementing biotin is not going to help your hair, your skin, or your nails. Now if I feel like I want extra biotin, I'll just eat an egg, because it's an excellent source. But when it comes to my hair, something is working. See, because of the thinning, I never wore my hair down in public because you could see my scalp, so it was always up in a scrunchie or a clip or something. But on Saturday, I went out during the day in broad daylight with my hair down, and my scalp wasn't visible. So I do want to do a full video on how I care for my thinning hair and what I've used over the years, what's worked, what hasn't, most of which has not worked. But I want to share what is working because it has been working for the last 4 months. So I think it's worth talking about. The second supplement is going to be fish oil, particularly fish and fish oil, but mostly fish oil. So eating fish is good for you. Everyone says so. We all know this. It's good for your heart and your brain, and it's anti-inflammatory. And I've always tried to eat fish, but when I couldn't, I would supplement with fish oil. It's the omega-3s in fish that are so good for you. However, in my 20s, I developed a weird reaction to eating fish. When I ate some clam chowder, and about 3 hours later, I was in misery, throwing up and cramping, and that seemed to be a pattern. If I ate fish and dairy within 3 hours of each other, I couldn't digest it, I would throw up. I remember being able to have fish sticks and milk as a child, but I guess something just happened to in my digestive tract when I became an adult. So I would not eat fish or dairy within 3 hours of each other. But as I got older, my stomach was still having trouble digesting fish to the point that I could only eat salmon. It was the only fish that wouldn't cause cramping and nausea and, And then after a while, I noticed that sometimes salmon would digest beautifully, and then other times I'd end up with bloating and cramping. And I might feel a little nauseous, but I wouldn't throw up. So I kind of cut way back on salmon and started supplementing with fish oil instead, which worked great for a while. Then, last year, I ate some salmon and I felt awful. I mean, nauseous. I was able to keep my meal down, but I felt terrible. And I finally decided to listen to my body. My fish may be good for some people, but for me, it's totally inflammatory and my body couldn't handle it, can't handle it. And it was such a relief because I had been struggling so hard to do something that was right, and my body was just not cooperating. However, I still had some fish oil left, so even though I went off the salmon, I stayed with the fish oil, but it was now doing the same thing. So I quit. I didn't know this, but fish oil supplements are notorious for causing tummy problems, burping, bloating, acid reflux even. But there are also other risks, particularly if you're taking a high dose. These risks include things like increased bleeding, heart and blood sugar problems, and it can suppress your immune system. There's an article on the Mayo Clinic website that talks about negative interactions between high-dose fish oil and certain medications. Some of these medications include things like blood thinners, blood pressure drugs, and contraceptives, among others. And finally, the industry isn't regulated, so quality control issues can lead to rancid oils, which probably are not going to benefit you at all. So if you're taking high dose fish oil, your doctor recommends it for one reason or another. Just make sure that you check out the manufacturer and make sure that they have quality controls, and do your research. Make sure you're getting something that is actually going to do what you want the fish oil to do. So now I get my omega-3s, in case you're wondering, from plant-based sources like flax seeds and walnuts. These contain an omega-3 because your body doesn't make omega-3 fatty acids. You have to get them through food. And they contain one, there's several different ones. They contain one called ALA, alpha-linolenic, I think that's how you pronounce it, acid. This can be converted by your body into the more desirable EPA and DHA omega-3s that are found in fish oil. And I just have to hope that my body is really good at converting. Until recently. Now I take something called algae omega-3, and that's what this is right here. It's a plant-based DHA and EPA that doesn't cause me any tummy upset, at least not so far. And Natural Factors is one of my favorite supplement brands, and this video is not sponsored, and that is because they do have stringent quality controls in place. Their supplements, this one at least, is made in Canada, and they have something called ISURA. It's an independently verified seal that ensures the quality of the product that you're getting. It's also verified clean and non-GMO. And the reason that I like Natural Factors is because not only do they tell you exactly everything that's in the product, they also tell you what isn't in it. So if you're someone who has allergies or a restricted diet, you don't have to call the company to find out if you can actually use it. You can just look right on here. For example, this contains no artificial colors, preservatives, or sweeteners, no dairy, sugar, wheat, gluten, yeast, soy, sesame, corn, yay! Egg, fish, shellfish, animal products, salt, tree nuts, or GMOs. So I'll link where you can find this product. You can get it everywhere. I got this from iHerb, but yeah, it's just if you want to take fish oil and you don't tolerate fish. Now, as far as any kind of negative interactions, I don't know about this, about algae oil, as plant-based, but you can certainly check that out online if you're at all concerned if there are any negative side effects or anti-benefits to something like the plant-based EPA DHA supplement. And finally, as promised, the one supplement that I will never take, no matter how popular it gets, unless my doctor tells me I have to, and that's going to be calcium. And here's why. Women over the age of 51 should get about 1,200 milligrams of calcium per day, preferably from your diet. Supplements may be recommended by your doctor if you're not getting that in your diet, or if you have a risk of osteoporosis or some other disease related to a lack of calcium or a calcium deficiency. But for most of us, calcium is abundant in the foods we eat, in things like dairy, yogurt, cheeses, leafy greens, broccoli, bok choy, canned sardines, and canned salmon with bones. Additionally, foods that have been fortified with calcium can be an excellent source. So things like juices, cereals, non-dairy beverages, tofu, nut milks. But with calcium, there's always going to be an issue around absorption. So for example, plants that are high in certain oxalates or phytic acid can block the absorption of calcium. An example would be spinach. Spinach has an absorption of 5% compared to dairy, which has an absorption of 30%. Other foods with high levels of oxalic acid include collard greens, sweet potatoes, and beans. But broccoli, kale, and cabbage, not a problem. Their absorption is similar to that of dairy, the same with fortified foods. Also, low levels of vitamin D can block your absorption as well, so make sure to keep those vitamin D levels up. And finally, too much calcium from supplementation can lead to kidney stones, heart disease, and potentially prostate cancer. So the takeaway from this video, I think, should be that eating a balanced diet that includes a variety of foods is going to give you the most benefit for good health, energy, good skin, thick hair, hard nails, all those things that we want. You will also be getting all the nutrition that you need to stay healthy. And we know what those things are that should be included in a healthy diet. Vegetables, fruits, whole grains, nuts, seeds, dairy, oils, as well as a variety of protein foods, including seafood, lean meats, poultry, eggs, legumes, nuts, seeds, and soy products. So just eat what you want. Just eat a lot of different stuff. Don't eat the same thing every single day. And don't be afraid to try new things. You would be surprised how many people, particularly at least in my little circle of friends, who are literally have like a block on certain foods and just refuse to eat them, even though they've never tasted them, they've never tried them. They just looked at them and decided they don't want them. Try not to be like that. I've always wanted to try anything once. Sometimes it was a disaster, but more often than not, I would find new foods, and particularly new ways of cooking them that make them more palatable to you. And then once you have a varied diet in place, then you can look at supplementation and work with your doctor to fill in any gaps that you might be having. That's where I'm going to leave you. If you enjoyed this video, and I hope you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe so you won't miss what's coming up next, and share in the comments your approach to supplements. What works for you, what doesn't, and that way we can all learn from each other. And I notice you guys are talking to each other in the comments now, and I love that. So keep that going. And yeah, until I see you in my next video, just going to wish you a wonderful day, wonderful week. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you again very, very soon. Bye.